Well, we've reached the fourth and final day of the Battle of the Bows, so this will be our last hunt breakdown for Team Crossbow Magazine. The last day was pretty brutal. The weatherman didn't disappoint with his forecast, and Old Man Winter was definitely blowing in, so let's go out to the field and see how this hunt wraps up. Well, it's day 4 of the Battle of the Bows. It's the final day. It's a humdinger of a day. We've got 40-mile-an-hour winds, temperatures in the 30s, and snow flurries. So it's not looking too good for the final day, but I finally found what I'm looking for. I wished I would have found this area the first day. I'm on my 4th property in 4 days, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to get down here and start chasing it, but I didn't have any choice with all the hunting pressure. I had to find somewhere. It looks like today I finally found it, but I doubt if they're going to be moving. You can see I'm set up in the blind again. I'm back down in the marshland. And about a mile and a half to the north, there's a river valley, and there's a lot of ag up in there. And then you cross the highway, and I'm about 0.7 miles off of the highway. And I found an area where there's some double structure. There's an oxbow, and then there's a slough that runs off of the river that forms the oxbow. So I've got double structure right here in front of me. On the way in, there's some scrapes and some pretty nice rubs down along the highway, but there's no way those deer are getting there in the daylight. If my calculations are right and what I'm looking at, the deer should be bedded about 300 yards from where I'm at, but I can't get any closer because of the river and the wind. So I'm right on the edge. This is going to be an all-day set. I come in here in gray light. I wasn't sure if I was going to use a blind or a tree stand, but with the wind gust and everything, then I got back here and there wasn't a good tree anyway. Seems like in Wisconsin there's never a tree where you want to set up. So I've got the blind popped up. I'm actually on this side of the slough, but the deer should be coming right to me if they're up and moving in this weather. And the farthest shot will be 20 yards. That's all the farther I can cover. It's too thick to my left and the water's too deep to my right, so they should be bedded down in there with their backs to the river. And then with this northwest wind and them wanting to head north into that ag land, I think I'm in the right spot. I just wished I would have found this 3 days ago so I could have worked it, but it is what it is. That's part of the challenge. So it's going to be an all-day set. It's going to be a long day, but I don't mind that. In this wind, there's not many options, so I'm just going to ride it out and see what happens on this final day of the Battle of the Bows, and hopefully everyone else survives this wind and we get another deer down in camp. So I will check back in at the end of the hunt or after I shoot one. Stay tuned. As the day progressed, the wind just kept picking up, and they were calling for 40-mile-an-hour gusts, and we were definitely getting them. I mean, the squirrels were hanging on for dear life, the birds were hanging on for dear life, and I just think the deer were hunkered down and they weren't about to move. I was in a good spot here, but it just wasn't meant to be with this weather, but I was bound determined to stick it out all day. I'd found out later that a lot of the teams pulled plug about halfway through the day and started their journey back home, but I stuck it out, and I was just going to see if I could catch something moving. I finally had a good property I thought I could work, but I just couldn't get close enough to it this day. So let's see how it goes here. Well, that's going to be it for Team Crossbow Magazine at the Battle of the Bows. After a 10-hour set today, I didn't see anything but that bird walking up the slough, which was pretty cool. I really wasn't expecting to see anything in this blustery wind. I figured everything would be laying low, but when you're only here 4 days, you got to put the time in, regardless of the weather conditions. Just unfortunate. I never felt like I got on a buck I was interested in hunting until tonight. I thought this held a real possibility, but I just didn't have enough time to break this property down, being the last day. So I ended up seeing 6 deer over the 4-day period, 2 of them being bucks, and I could have killed every deer I saw. They were all inside of 22 yards, so pretty happy about that, but just never got on the right caliber of deer. Pretty happy with my efforts overall. I made the one mistake there the first day. I overshot that tree stand by about 30 yards and laid a scent trail down, but that doe picked it up, but she never fully spooked. It just put her on alert. So other than that, I never blew any deer out or anything getting in and out. It's just a couple bad weather days, and the hunting pressure was something that I never really prepared for properly. I wasn't expecting that, and that set me back a little, but I think today I finally got it figured out on this property, but just wasn't meant to be. So I'm half froze, out of camera light. Can't wait to get back to camp. Hopefully we got another one down, but pretty tough conditions today, so looking forward to getting back there and getting around the fire. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we got another one down. And unfortunately, that's how the Battle of the Bows ended. The Wisconsin Public Land Challenge was over. I never saw deer the final day. When I got back to camp, those that were still in camp reported that no one saw a deer that day, so those brutal winds pretty much had them laying down. So that was a wrap for the hunt. Had a great time. Met some new friends. Hunted in a state I never hunted in, so overall it was a big success as far as I'm concerned. Thanks for following along. Hopefully you like some of the content we put on here. Please leave some comments and subscribe to our channel.